up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to another video here on Chris VQ. As always, I'm Chris, so let's get into it. In my last video, I spoke about how we were getting ready to pull the motor out of the G35. I told you guys that I would be tearing it down today, so I told myself I was going to grab the camera before I really started doing anything, and of course I started working on the car, didn't grab the camera. So I stopped what I was doing, grabbed the camera, got something in my eye. But this is where we're going to start. So as of right now, I've started pulling off the front clip. I haven't got it all the way off yet, but I'm getting there. So I'm going to give you guys a little quick visual on that. All right, so this is currently where we sit at. Got the bumper and the little, like, what's it called? The foam support that goes between the bumper and the bash bar right there. I got the bash bar over by the house. So this is where the car sits right now. We're still pulling off the little, like, the accessories off of the core support. So that's where I'm at right now. We're gonna get the core support pulled, and then once the core support is pulled, that's probably what we'll call it for today. I don't want to do too much because if someone sees my car like torn apart, they could complain about it and then I could get in trouble. So I'm trying to like pick and choose how far I get throughout the day. So today we're just gonna try and get the core support disconnected. I probably will leave it up there. Also, I'm gonna try and take the core support out without removing my headlights from the core support. I heard that you can do that. I do not know if that's true, but today we're gonna find out. There's only one bolt holding the headlight to the fender on each side. So I figure if I remove those two bolts and, you know, pull it off, what I usually do is I just remove the bolt and put it back where it was, so that way I know where it goes, unless it's like an engine bolt. So then I just, you know, most of it's right there. But yeah, so that's where we're at. We're gonna pull the core support off of the car. All right, so that's probably like the best I can do. Hoping you guys can still hear me pretty well with being so far away from my phone. But if you guys can't, I do apologize. So let's get started.
Switch it up.
back to our regular scheduled program. All right, so we have made it a little farther. I do believe at this point the core support is ready to come out. There's one bolt holding it on the passenger side, where the headlight bolts to the where the fender bolts to the headlight. So once I pop that one off, it should come free. It's like already hanging, so that's a good sign. All right, so we are back. I got pretty much everything done, I believe. There's one little bracket that's on the hard line for the coolant for the upper radiator hose. It's just very hard to get to. So I figure once I start pulling the motor forward, I'll grab that one, take it off, so I can actually lift the entire harness out of the way, or disconnect it from the engine. Everything else, I believe, so far, up until this point, should be good. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick little POV of what I'm looking at, and you guys can see for yourselves. Okay, so core support on the ground right there, because you can't really disconnect it without taking out the hood latch. I didn't really feel like doing all that because a lot of that stuff is plastic, and I don't want to break it, because if you break the hood latch, it's a whole day that I don't feel like dealing with. So left that alone. I'm just gonna swing it back into place when I'm done what I'm doing right now. But got pretty much the entire harness over here now. Still got a couple pieces over here, just because like I said, it's held up by a little 10mm bracket in the back, and that's what keeps us all, I'm assuming, on this side. So once that pops free, this should lift up out of the way. All the plumbing is undone except for the radiator. I left the radiator in because I haven't had the chance to drain it yet, and I just didn't want to get a bunch of coolant everywhere when it popped it off. So that's gonna stay there for now. I'll probably pop that off tomorrow once I start getting ready to pull the motor. Go ahead and drain that out. Shouldn't take too long, hopefully. But so I still gotta drain oil and coolant. So oil, coolant, I think that's about it as of right now. Like I said, everything else is good. I still gotta pull the belts, which I have not done yet, because I just trying to take it day by day at this point and not do too much at once. So next thing I'll have to do is remove the belts, get that power steering pump out of the way, get that set over here. Because I'm not bleeding that system. I'm cool on that. I'll probably try to clean it up, because like there's a lot of gunk, if you guys can see, a lot of gunk all over the lines. So I'll probably try to clean that up, but I'm not gonna replace that. It works fine. I wanted to replace it a while ago, but I never did. And I've learned that just me and power steering just never works out well for me. So I'm gonna leave that alone. Other than that, we got pretty much everything else off. The fuel rail is still connected and everything, just because I wanted to try to keep as much debris out of this area as possible. So I put some grocery bags in there, because I didn't have any like paper towel, and I kept the manifold on just so it's easier to deal with, because then once obviously the manifold is pulled and the harness, I can just pull all this to the side, set it right there, pull the motor, put the motor back in, pop it back on, and that way I really don't have to disconnect any fuel stuff. I would prefer to not have to do that, other than like the connectors. But nevertheless, we are at the point of stopping. I didn't want to go too far, because a lot of the next stuff I'm going to do is going to require, I guess, since we're two people, so I have to wait for my buddy to get here tomorrow, and then we'll start really pulling everything out, the radiator, all this stuff, getting this stuff out of the way, and then hook up the motor and pull her on out of there. The mount's still got to be broken free, trans mount, and I'm debating on whether or not to pull the drive shaft. I know people say that you can just leave it in, and then when you pull the trans out, you just support it, and it should slide off the trans, or slide out of the trans. I might do it that way, because I really don't feel like having to pull that. I don't want to reinstall it, because it's heavy as shit, and it's very hard to do underneath the car. That's not like where you're not like, it's not on a lift, and you're like right in front of it. It's very hard to try to like lift that up and bolt it up at the same time, even with help. So if I can avoid doing that, that's what I'm gonna do. Other than that stuff, the only thing left is the shifter. The shifter on the inside has to still be taken out and disconnected from the trans. Other than that, like I said, pretty much everything else is done. So that's where we're gonna end this video today. Hopefully within the next week or so, I'll be pushing out the engine removal video and engine reinstall video. I'll probably try to do that in one big part. But once that's all done, I'll get that video pushed out for you guys. I'm trying to get as many videos as I can pushed out so that way I have content to kind of subside until I'm able to figure out what my next steps are with the car. So again, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.